At that time, there was a country called Joseon on the Korean peninsula. But the central government was so corrupt that the practice of pay-off deals for appointive offices were prevalent, and local governments imposed excessive taxes and officials exploited them. So powerless peasants were very dissatisfied. On the other hand, in the Japanese archipelago, the Meiji Restoration was successful, and the entire country developed science and technology to strengthen its military power, and was transforming it into a powerful military system. A golden opportunity arose for Japan, which was only looking for an opportunity. The Donghak Rebellion occurred in the Korean peninsula. The Donghak Rebellion, which hastened the collapse of the dynasty, was an opportunity to change the game in the Far East, starting with the rebellion of Gobu in Jeolla province in the Korean peninsula. A peasant could not withstand the abuse of military governor Jo Byung-gap and attacked the military under the leadership of Jeon Bong-jun of the Donghak Church. Jeon Bong-jun's father, who reported on corrupt officials, was slaughtered. Several petitions were unsuccessful, and Jeon Bong-jun started an armed uprising with the peasants at Donghak Church, who could not withstand corrupt officials' tyranny.
When the members of Donghak Church and peasants defeated the government forces and Jeonju Castle was captured, the Joseon court, in crisis, decided that it was impossible to suppress the Donghak rebellions alone, and the Joseon court asked the Qing dynasty for help.
The Qing dynasty dispatched an army in the name of saving Joseon, a long-time subordinate, by the decision of Li Hongjiang, Viceroy of Zili. Japan, which was closely monitoring the situation in Joseon and looking for opportunities to spy on it, received important information that the Qing army had been dispatched.
And Japan, seizing the golden opportunity, dispatched an army before the Qing dynasty even though there had been no request from Joseon. The same day that the Qing army arrived in Asan, the Japanese army also arrived in Incheon.
But suddenly, the Japanese army, the Qing army, and the Donghak army faced each other on the Korean peninsula, and the situation became a terrifying international war. However, at this time, the Donghak army, stationed in Jeonju Castle, voluntarily reached an agreement with the government and withdrew its troops for the safety of the people of Joseon, as the Korean peninsula was in a crisis situation where foreign troops entered and confronted each other.
The intention of the Donghak army was, in fact, to voluntarily withdraw to give foreign troops no reason to enter. As the Donghak army withdrew its justification for dispatching troops, Qing proposed an accompanying withdrawal to Japan. However, Japan regarded it as a golden opportunity to secure influence on the Korean peninsula, ignored the Qing request, and increased its troops even more. The obstacles to gaining control of the Korean peninsula were Britain, which occupied the gateway to Asia including Shanghai and Hong Kong, and Russia, which is located to the north of the Korean peninsula. Although the Russian ambassador demanded the withdrawal of Japanese troops, Japan said it had no intention of aggression in the Korean peninsula and promised to withdraw. when the rebellion calmed down, but that was totally a lie. Shortly thereafter, the Japanese army made a detailed plan secretly and occupied the Gyeongbok Palace, the royal palace of Joseon, and took King Gojong hostage. The Japanese forces caused the Joseon government to send an official document to Japan stating that the Joseon government wanted Japan to expel the Qing army from the Korean peninsula. It was a cunning strategy to get a cause for war with the Qing dynasty, because war would naturally occur if Japan expelled the Qing army by force. 2 days after Japan occupied the Gyeongbok Palace, the royal palace, a naval battle began in earnest with the Japanese preemptive attack in the Pungdo Sea to the west of the Korean peninsula. 3 Japanese battleships attacked 2 Qing dynasty ships carrying troops and supplies, sank one of them, and heavily damaged the other, killing about 1,000 naval forces who drowned. On land, 4,000 Japanese soldiers descended south to Songhwan and engaged in a fierce battle with the Qing army, and 3,500 Qing soldiers fled to Pyongyang, leaving 500 dead. It turned out to be a devastating reality that the Qing dynasty army was defeated by the Japanese army both on land and at sea. And the Qing dynasty's continued defeat was a sign of a bleak future for those who have lived on the Korean peninsula and mainland China. After the Pungdo naval battle and Songhwan's land battle, Japan formally declared war on the Qing dynasty. They declared war on the Qing dynasty, claiming the cause to be the independence of Joseon from the Qing dynasty and the peace of East Asia. After occupying the palace, the Japanese returned the easily manipulated region to Hongsan. Immediately after the Battle of Pyongyang, the Qing dynasty's Beiyang fleet and Japan's combined fleet engaged in the Battle of the Yellow Sea in the lower reaches of the Yellow River. Although the Qing fleets were large, they were slow in speed, and the firing speed of their guns of warships was considerably slower than that of the Japanese. 2 of Japan's 12 vessels were heavily damaged, but none of them were sunk. Qing's huge vessels were too slow and could not properly carry out the battle, and as many as 5 Qing cruisers were eventually sunk. It was a shameful and complete defeat of the Beiyang Navy of the Qing dynasty, which was known as the strongest in Asia. After victories in the Battle of Songhwan and Pyongyang, as well as victories in the Battle of Pungdo and the Yellow Sea, morale skyrocketed, and eventually passing through the Korean peninsula, Japan invaded Manchuria in China.
The Japanese army attacked Yosan, the base of the Beiyang fleet on the Liaodong Peninsula, where there were 90 cannons and 10,000 Qing soldiers. However, the Japanese attacked and occupied Yosan in just 1 day, but the Chinese left over 1,000 dead, recklessly abandoned their weapons, and all fled.
After the Qing soldiers fled, there was a tragedy by the Japanese army which took place there. They took control of Yosan and carried out genocide for 3 days, killing both soldiers and civilians as they saw them.
At that time, an American newspaper reported that they shot and killed running women and children as if they were hunting, and they looted and killed them from house to house. According to many historical records, it is said that the number of Chinese who were massacred in Yosan is estimated to be about 20,000.
In the end, the Sino Japanese War ended in victory for Japan, and the Qing dynasty's minister of Li Hongjiang went to Japan and signed the Treaty of Shimonoseki with Japan. The defeated country, the Qing dynasty, had no choice, and Qing decided to hand over Taiwan, the Penghu Islands, and the Liaodong Peninsula to Japan, and pay reparations of 200 million yang Chinese currency to Japan. Thank you for watching the video, The First Sino-Japanese War, provided by History and Current Events. I'm Rebecca, Mia, Katie, Leah, and Tony have contributed so far as narrators. Thank you.